knock him out. I need to knock him out.
Don't miss the return of former champion Andy Ruiz.
Wilder's gonna knock him out. That's Luis Ortiz's trainer's thoughts on Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz after observing the match between the Destroyer and King Kong Ortiz. So why would he dare to make such a statement? Will the Mexican be able to take down the brutal giant Wilder, or will failure once again sink his career?
And he figured out how to fight and win with his style?
Let's take a look at the video, but before we jump in, remember, like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss out on any updates from Boxing Insane. Luis Ortiz's trainer thinks a confrontation between Wilder and Ruiz will definitely happen, and the fact that this fight will definitely take place according to the WBC belt qualifiers, what is important is time. Ruiz beat Ortiz before the jam-packed crowd at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California. Wilder, who was ringside to watch Ruiz's win, returns to the ring next month in a separate WBC eliminator against Robert Helenius. And if the Bronze Bomber beats the 38-year-old Helenius, he'd be in line to fight Ruiz for the right to challenge for the Tyson Fury belt. And Ruiz has already shown his willingness to go ahead with the fight against the 36-year-old if he wins, calling on Premier Boxing Champion boss Al Heyman to get the deal done.
So, there's another one. Ortiz being very close on right hand.
So what has Ortiz's coach learned by following these fights? Determined to successfully climb his way back to the heavyweight ladder, the 43-year-old viewed the clash as a must-win. A jam-packed crowd at Crypto.com Arena rose to its feet as these two powerfully built big men pummeled one another for 12 rounds.
Less than a minute, straight left connected for Ortiz. He smiles. Right hand just missed the jaw. Another right hand.
The end result ultimately was not to Ortiz's liking as Ruiz registered the unanimous decision victory. A visible despondent Ortiz walked side by side with his head trainer, Herman Caicedo, out of the arena following the decision. Although Caicedo was pleased with the overall performance of the Cuban star, he solicited it was Ruiz's timely and damaging power that tipped things in his favor. He thinks Ruiz's strength and fighting style won't be enough for a brutal Wilder. Let's look at the fight between Ruiz and Ortiz. How did they do it? It took a split second for Andy Ruiz Jr. to remind the boxing world just how dangerous he could be. It was a fight with bursts of action, mainly in the second round, where Ruiz scored 2 of his knockdowns. It should be noted that the second one was questionable and a judgment call from referee Thomas Taylor. And had that one not been counted, Ruiz still would have won, but by a split decision, as the 2 cards his way would have been by a single point. But 43-year-old Ortiz, 33-3 with 28 knockouts, never really put a true stamp on this fight either. Most rounds seemed to go the way Andy Ruiz approached them, and if he laid back too much, it was easy to score them for Ortiz, whose jabs could be said to carry rounds where frankly nothing much was happening at all. And it wasn't hard to find 6 or 7 of those for the Cuban.
There's another one. Ortiz being very close on right hand.
Ruiz, at 35-2 with 22 knockouts, was facing a southpaw for the first time as a pro, and it showed. including the former title holder usually circling the wrong way into Ortiz's power hand. It never totally bit him, though, as Ortiz doesn't have the legs anymore to catch an opponent by surprise other than timing them to come in. But Ruiz was able to take advantage of that and also use his own quickness and hand speed to sting Ortiz pretty often, which Ortiz couldn't do much about it because he's just slow.
Number 9, and a fight that has lacked sustained firework. There's another one. Ortiz being very close on right hand.
Ruiz's weakness? Well, it wasn't the all-star performance from Ruiz, but a lot of it was very smart, and he got the job done. He won't face many fighters like Ortiz, and he knew Ortiz was dangerous with his power and timing too if he gave him too many opportunities.
Stuns Ortiz. There's a left hand.
We almost saw it late in round 2 when Ortiz did crack him and Ruiz nearly felt it. The fight was never really the same from there other than a good rush in round 7 when Ruiz dropped Ortiz a third time. If in the match with Wilder, the American boxer is stronger and more brutal than Ortiz many times, then Ruiz will have difficulty. Wilder has good stamina, and if an opponent comes into sight, his brutal right hand will act like a rocket and lay Ruiz on the floor. For Wilder, he hasn't fought since losing that trilogy fight against WBC champion Fury in October of last year, but he has sent out a warning to the rest of the division he's ready to put his best foot forward once more. And Andy Ruiz, or anyone else, is no exception. From his observations and experience of studying opponents, King Kong Ortiz's coach confirms the outcome of this encounter that was Wilder that would take Ruiz down. Now with Ortiz versus Ruiz in the rearview mirror, Wilder will immerse himself in training camp as he prepares for the ring return October 15th against Robert Helenius. And if successful, Wilder knows good and well that a matchup against Ruiz could be next on the agenda. Caicedo, however, shakes his head incredulously when asked if the Mexican star has any chance at defeating Wilder, considering Ortiz's 2 attempts at dethroning Wilder ended in a cataclysmic disaster for the slick southpaw. Caicedo is firm in the belief that Ruiz will suffer the same fate. Wilder is gonna knock him out.
Wilder back to the ropes. Wilder fires out a right hand and another. You know, if Wilder says, "I insist on this," now he's hard right hand.
Do you agree with the view of Herman Caicedo, the coach of Luis King Kong Ortiz? Or who will be the winner between these giants? What round will the fight end? Leave your comments below and let us know. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and tap that bell icon so you never miss any videos from Boxing Insane. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.